Hey everyone, this is Dan. Let's talk about Moderna and BioNTech and the exciting things that have been happening in the last few days. First of all, I'd like to mention that I have increased my estimates for both Moderna and BioNTech. My new range is $170 to $190 for Moderna and $130 to $150 for BioNTech between February and April of 2021. Of course, the price will be subject to technical fluctuations during this time period. Great news this morning for Moderna and BioNTech. What happened was that Johnson & Johnson said their vaccine is only 66% effective in global trials, which is not as good as the 95% effectiveness rate of Moderna and BioNTech. And because of that, the stock prices of Moderna and BioNTech jumped up dramatically this morning. Since then, it has settled down a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that the prices will continue to go up later on today and in the next few days. Let's look at how the prices of these two companies have been trending in the last couple of months. I plotted the two companies side by side. The yellow line is BioNTech, which uses the left axis, and the red and green line is Moderna, which uses the right axis. As of now, which is around 9:50 a.m., January 29th, Moderna is at around 174, BioNTech at around 116. When I first published my Moderna video, that was on November 30th, we were at this point, and a few days later, the price went up significantly. But then after Moderna was approved by the UK and the US, people started to sell on the news. During that time, I warned the viewers not to buy, and if they bought already, I suggested them to hold. Then on January 4th, I published my first BioNTech video. Soon after that, the prices started to go up for the two companies. During this time, I've been doing swing trading and realized some pretty nice profits. Swing trading is my way of maximizing my profit when I know a particular stock is going up anyway. It's like turbo boosting my profit engine, which is kind of interesting. Of course, I usually keep at least half of my stock in a buy and hold strategy mode. The other half I use for swing trading. By the way, if you're looking at this video a few days after January 29th, you might want to check the notes section or description section below this video, because I might already have posted updates. And I would appreciate very much if you will click the like, subscribe, and notification button for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. And I'll appreciate any comments or suggestions from you. In the next few minutes, I'll be talking about the decrease of new COVID cases around the world, any significant recent events, the valuation of the two companies, and I'll be comparing the different vaccines in the market. And I'll be talking about the different catalysts that'll bring up the price or cause the price to go down. Then we'll go into technical analysis and talk about my trading strategies. I've been saying that the ultimate test of the effectiveness of the vaccines would be whether the new cases have been going down, especially in countries where they have high percentages of population injected with the vaccines. The United States is definitely one of those countries. In the United States, so far, 8.3% of the population have been injected with either the first or second dose. The usage of the vaccines in the US is roughly 60% BioNTech and the other 40% Moderna. As you can see, in the last couple of weeks, the new cases have been going down significantly. Of course, US also put the country in a very severe lockdown mode. That also helped. UK, with 11.9% of the population vaccinated, also, they use mostly the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine or the Moderna vaccine. The decrease of their new cases has been even more impressive in the last 2-3 weeks. Also, they have a very severe lockdown in the country. And then Israel, with 48% of the population vaccinated, they also have been showing noticeable decrease in the number of cases. So that's good news all around. And that's why I'm so optimistic about these two stocks. As far as significant news, the Times of Israel reported that they found the Pfizer vaccine to be 92% effective after hundreds of thousands of people have been injected with the vaccine. And that echoes the phase 3 test results from Pfizer and BioNTech, which is great news. And then Reuters reported yesterday that the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine seems to lose a little effectiveness against the virus mutation from South Africa, but the vaccine is effective against the other mutations of the virus. And from what I heard, both Moderna and BioNTech are aggressively developing booster shots for the new mutations. Moderna said that their vaccine is less effective against the South African mutation, although it's still somewhat effective, and they're definitely developing the booster shot for the South Africa mutation. That's actually, it's a positive piece of news because with the fast mutating virus, that means people will be needing the vaccines probably every 6 months or so. That's good business for both Moderna and BioNTech. Other significant events. The Germany government said that the AstraZeneca vaccine should not be given to people over the age of 64. The French drug maker Sanofi said it will start helping Pfizer-BioNTech to manufacture their vaccine. That'll help alleviate the production problems with the BioNTech vaccine. And the US government plans to buy 100 million doses each from Moderna and BioNTech. That's really positive for the bottom line. Recently, Hong Kong approved the BioNTech vaccine. Hong Kong has a population of about 7 million people, so that would be a good piece of business. Additional significant events. Merck shut down its COVID vaccine program on January 25th because of unimpressive data. Australia approved the BioNTech vaccine. This is a quick look of my Moderna valuation, which I published on December 16. At that time, I estimated a price range of $150 to $170 a share. Since then, we've heard quite a few optimistic developments related to the stock. First of all, the confirmed contract now is not just 400 million doses, but 461 million doses. And then the Johnson & Johnson vaccine news that broke out this morning helped increase the price of Moderna. And the booster shot also helped increase the price of Moderna. Also, when I did the original calculation, I put in a discount of 20% just to be on the conservative side. So now at this point, with all these good pieces of information, I'm reducing my discount and setting a new target range of $170 to $190 a share for Moderna. This is a quick recap of the BioNTech valuation I did on January 4th. At that time, I estimated a price range of $120 to $140 a share. And similar to Moderna, the actual number of contracts signed has increased from 816 million doses to 836 million doses. Then, of course, the J&J news and the booster vaccine helped increase the price of BioNTech. Also, I applied a 20% discount back in January 4th, and I've decided to reduce this discount because of the positive developments. Now my new target range is $130 to $150 a share. This is a recap of the January 23rd analyst opinion. Nothing really has changed since then, but I'm pretty sure some of these analysts will be increasing the estimates pretty soon. And these numbers are pretty much still within the same ballpark of my new target ranges. If we compare the different vaccines available in the market now, of course, we know the BioNTech vaccine and the Moderna vaccine are about 95% effective after the second dose. Of course, we heard this morning that Johnson & Johnson is only 68% effective, AstraZeneca 70 to 90% effective, Sinovac, depending on where you got the data, Turkey said it's 91% effective, Indonesia said it's 65% effective, and Brazil said it was only 50% effective. Sinopharm, UAE said it's 86% effective. Gamaleya by Russia is supposed to be 91.4% effective, according to its own manufacturer. This data has not been verified by an independent third party. My own opinion is that since the traditional flu vaccines are only 40 to 60% effective, what we see from Moderna and BioNTech are indeed phenomenal, and that's because of the revolutionary messenger RNA technology, which is a head and shoulder above the rest of the traditional technologies for developing vaccines. And more, we are seeing that being validated by the inferior results of the other vaccines. Moderna and BioNTech vaccines are the best defense against COVID-19 at this point, and that's why I'm so upbeat about these two companies. At this point, I would very much appreciate if you could click the like, subscribe, and notification button for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. Let's continue. What are the catalysts that will make the stock prices go up? Of course, any additional contract for the vaccines will definitely boost the bottom line. And the reduction of daily new COVID cases in UK, Israel, and US, and we've seen that happening already. Hopefully, we'll continue to see decreases in those countries and other developed nations where they have high percentage of people vaccinated. and failure of other vaccines in development will cause BioNTech and Moderna to go up. Anything that will cause the price to go down, if the vaccines are less than effective against new virus mutations, actually it turned out to be a positive because the messenger RNA technology is well positioned to develop new booster shots quickly, actually much faster than traditional methods to fight against a new virus mutation. Any supply chain problems? We did have some supply chain problem with the BioNTech vaccine, but that seems to be getting resolved with the help of Sanofi. And then if we hear about success of other less expensive vaccines, or we hear about any severe allergic reactions to the vaccines. Let's look at the charts. First of all, let's look at the daily chart for Moderna. This chart was generated after market closing yesterday. As you can see, we have this nice upward trending channel. This is my new target range, $170 to $190. I see resistance at 170 and also at 178. Of course, 178 was an all-time high. I see support at 140. We see a positive signal from DMI recently, and then another positive signal from MACD. As of this morning, Moderna is at 174. It still has to overcome the 178 resistance in order to get to higher levels. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. I generated this chart a moment ago at 9:50 a.m., January 29th, and the price at that point was about 174. Yesterday, shortly before 1 p.m., I saw this big red candlestick, and I also saw that the price had been flattening in the previous 2 hours or so. That's why I decided to sell half of my shares. And then this morning, the J&J news broke out. We saw this very positive signal from DMI and a positive signal from MACD. Sure enough, the price jumped up, and then it peaked out at about 9 a.m. with this warning sign from RSI indicating that the stock was overbought. Actually, this morning, just when the J&J news broke out, I almost bought Moderna shares, but I decided to buy BioNTech share instead because BioNTech also jumped up at the same time. Let's look at BioNTech. This is the chart I generated after market closing yesterday, and we saw this nice upward trending triangle. It was starting to drip below that triangle in the last couple of days, but the good news this morning kicked the stock price back up above this triangle. This is my target range of $130 to $150. I see resistance at 112 and also at 120. I see support at 110. We got a positive DMI signal 3-4 days ago and another positive signal from MACD on January 11th. As of now, BioNTech is at 116. It still has to get over the 120 resistance to get much higher. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. This is where we are now, $116 this morning. Yesterday, when I saw this bearish engulfing signal and the fact that the price had been flattening for about an hour, I decided to sell at around 1 p.m. And I also updated my notes in my previous BioNTech video. I decided to sell half of my BioNTech shares. I kept the other half based on the buy and hold strategy. And then this morning when the J&J news broke out, I bought again at about $114 a share. At this point, I'd like to reiterate that my Moderna prediction is $150 to $170 and BioNTech is $120 to $140 during the period from February to April. Of course, the price will be subject to technical fluctuations. Please remember to check below this video now or a few days later because I might already have put in updates. I'd like to remind you to click on the like, subscribe, and notification button for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. Again, I would appreciate any comments, suggestions, or questions. At this point, I'd like to remind you that I'm not an advisor. I share my trading strategies for educational purpose only. You should make up your own decision with regard to buying or selling financial assets, and you should probably consult with your financial consultants before you do so. This about wraps up my video for now. I'll chat with you again in the next few days. In the meanwhile, I'd like to wish you the very best with your financial investments.